The Spook 5 Killer can wait. Yesterday was day 172 of protests in the city of Elizabeth City, North Carolina, and the county of Pasquotank County, North Carolina, over the police shooting. I saw a cat on the sidewalk of Andrew Brown Jr. that took place on April 21st, 2021. We've been out here for 172 days straight. And it's an incredible thing to witness. Again, folks, the facts of the case here are very simple. 7 sheriff deputies armed with loaded and ready machine guns on the back of a pickup truck pulled up at the intersection of Roanoke and Perry on the morning of April 21st, 2021 at 8:30 in a school zone. A school is literally on the same street. And they fired multiple dozen bullets randomly, striking Andrew Brown Jr. in the back of the head, killing him as he was attempting to flee the hit squad. In their attempted assassination of Andrew Brown Jr., shots misfired into a neighbor's house, went through their walls, and nearly killed them. No charges will be filed against the police officers, even the ones that shot into an innocent neighbor's house for no reason, even the ones that killed Andrew Brown Jr. for no reason. All of them for shooting guns wildly in a school zone at 8:30 a.m. No one, not a single one of the officers will face any charges. And that's because District Attorney Andrew Womble is a corrupt, bald-faced motherfucker. And he's got an office inside the sheriff's department. Yeah, that's right. There's no collusion there. There's no corruption there. His office is literally inside of the sheriff's department. So I wonder, is he going to prosecute cases fairly? Is he going to be an impartial prosecutor? Is he oh, look, the police officers did something wrong, I'm going to try them like I would in... Oh, no, of course not. Instead, what he did was he covered up the case. He made a way for them to dodge accountability by not releasing the video of the assassination of Andrew Brown Jr. It is still 172 days later. It is still not released. The Pasquotank County Board of Commissioners gave the Sheriff's Department a raise. That's right. So they murdered Andrew Brown Jr. The murderers specifically got paid vacation. They got to put their feet up on the coffee table and watch Netflix, right? For a couple weeks, maybe. I think one of them had a month. Then they went back to work, got a raise, and are now back on the streets, apparently calling themselves peace officers. Yeah, that's right. The Pasquotank County Board of Commissioners spent $69,000 United States dollars of our tax money to rebrand the Sheriff's Department as the Peace Officers of Pasquotank County. What? Peace officers? Robert Morgan is not a peace officer. He shot someone who was running away from him in the back of the head. That is not something a peace officer does. It's just not. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. So, we have been out here for 172 days doing daily demonstrations, making sure that they understand that maybe they could be corrupt, but they're not going to be corrupt in the cloak of darkness. They will be corrupt in the sunlight for the entire world to see. And that is what I have as my goal. I want as many people that I possibly can inform to know how corrupt Pasquotank County is. A garbage county full of garbage public officials. Elizabeth City, a garbage city of garbage public officials. Every single one of them is corrupt or useless. Again, I remind you, what happened when shit hit the fan and the Pasquotank County Sheriff's Department murdered someone? The Elizabeth City City Council and the Elizabeth City Police Department conspired, colluded, and managed to fake an outrage so that the mayor would declare a state of emergency and bring riot cops in so all of their buddies could get some extra overtime pay. Every member of the city council is corrupt or useless. The ones who fought back against that evil, disgusting power grab didn't fight back hard enough, right? They're either all corrupt or some are corrupt and some are useless. And I have no time at all for any of that. I'm sick of seeing the police be celebrated as heroes by public officials as they accept rewards for underpaying people to paint Black Lives Matter on the street. For those of you that don't know how the Black Lives Matter mural worked, they paid someone $100. Just kidding. He wasn't paid $100. The $100 he was given was for art supplies. that wasn't even enough to cover the entire cost, right? And then they pocketed the rest of the money while the city council got a reward. They accepted a reward for painting Black Lives Matter on the street. While the people that actually did the artwork got next to nothing, and while the family of Andrew Brown Jr. is still suffering, knowing that they cannot see the videotape, they don't know anything about what's going on 172 days later. But hey, the city council got their reward. Eddie Buffalo got his promotion. So all is well in the corrupt world of Elizabeth City politics, except for every single one of the 18,000 residents that doesn't have a city job, that doesn't work for the government, that isn't a politician. I should be specific in saying that. People can be garbage collectors and still not have this corrupt level of power, of course. So at the end of the day, this is how small towns operate. Corruption at the core. Either, if you want to convince me that your specific favorite city council person isn't corrupt, okay, they're useless then. That's the only alternative. Corrupt or useless. And any city council that declared a state of emergency when there was no emergency and had riot cops beat the shit out of their own civilians for fun, that's not a city government I can trust. A city government, a city council that shut down in March of 2020 during the so-called attempted lockdown that this country had. And then wait, they brought back the city council meetings for one last session. And that was to vote to increase their salaries. And then they locked down again. And then they spent a long time without even talking to constituents. When the coronavirus pandemic hit the fan, they raised their own salaries and went into hiding. And that mentality is really showcased heavily over the last 172 days. Corrupt gremlins and goblins, every single one of them should be ashamed of themselves.